If you're having trouble with mathematics, numbers getting problematic, don't you panic. Check MathWiz, the best math tutor on the planet. From fraction to algebra, simple maths, add up some trigonometry into that. Learning math is fun with MathWiz, and that's a fact. We're rooting for you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another MathWiz Academy lesson. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to MathWiz Academy. I hope that today's lesson is going to be useful for you. Now, we're continuing on our journey of exploring how to manipulate positive and negative numbers. And for this video, we're going to be looking at multiplying positive and negative numbers. Now, the first thing we want to note is the general rule for multiplying positive and negative numbers. And so if we have a positive multiplied by a positive, we get a positive. If we have a negative multiplied by a negative, your answer will be positive. If you have a positive multiplied by a negative, you should get a negative. And lastly, if we have a negative multiplied by a positive, we will get a negative. All right, so of course, that's just words. We're doing a math lesson, so we want to see it with the numbers, I am sure. So for the positive times positive, you could imagine, let us say you had 4 times 3. Now, there are no symbols in front, so that is why we assume that these are positive, right? So you'll more than likely not see a teacher write positive 4 times positive 3, but when you see no signs, you know that that means it is a positive, right? And so 4 times 3 gives you positive 12. If you had minus 4 times minus 3, right? So that's a negative 4 times a negative 3. And we use negative and minus interchangeably, right? So it depends on what you are comfortable with. But yeah, so we have negative 4 multiplied by negative 3, which according to the rules, we should still get a positive. We then have a positive times a negative. So let us say you had 4 multiplied by minus 3, right? So the positive is coming from the 4 and the negative is coming from the minus 3. So this is supposed to give you a negative, so your answer is going to be minus 12. So the idea is that you want to just multiply the numbers as you would do before you even learned about positive and negative numbers. And then the sign is what you will decide based on the rules, right? So let us say we had minus 4 times 3. So again, you're going ahead, you're multiplying the numbers, which is 12, and then you're deciding what the sign will be. And since we have a negative times a positive, your answer is going to be a negative. Okay, so let us go ahead and try another set of examples, and then I will give you some to try on your own. So again, you could have something like 9 times 4, right? That would give you, so you would go ahead, you would write the 36, and it's a positive times a positive, so you know your final answer is positive. Let us say we have minus 2 times minus 7, or negative 2 times negative 7. We want to go ahead and multiply the numbers. So 2 times 7 is 14. And then I use the rule to decide the sign, right? So I have a negative times a negative. So according to the rules, my answer is supposed to be positive. For the next one, we have 6 multiplied by minus 3. So again, we want to go ahead and multiply the numbers. So 6 times 3 is 18. So we're not seeing it there, but really the sign in front is a plus. So this is where you have a positive times a negative. And according to the rules that you know, you should get a negative. All right, so for our final example, what if you have minus 8 times 5? So again, you want to multiply the numbers. So 8 times 5 is 40. If you're not seeing the plus clearly, you can always put it in or imagine it. And so if we have a negative multiplied by a positive, you are supposed to get a negative. And so your answer is going to be negative 40. So going over that again, a positive times a positive gave us positive 36. For the negative, we did 2 times 7, that's how we got 14. And then we looked at the sign, and negative times a negative gave us the positive. We then have 6 times 3 is 18. As I said, if you want to imagine, you can put the plus in front. So we really have a positive times a negative gives us a negative. Similarly, for this one, you can put the plus in front. And so you have a negative times a positive gives you a negative. Okay, so I am going to give you a few to try on your own, and then so they won't necessarily be in the order that is on the left hand side of the board. So you can go ahead and try these, and then you can come back for the answer. Okay, so go ahead, try those, press pause, put in your answers, and then you can press play to receive the solution. Okay, so provided you work these on your own already, we have 9 times minus 3. So the 9 times 3 is going to give us 27. And then we have a positive multiplied by a negative, so our answer is going to be negative. For our second question, we have minus 5 times minus 6, or negative 5 times negative 6. The 5 times 6 is going to give you 30, and the negative and negative will give you a positive. 3 times 2 is going to give us 6, and it is a positive times a positive, so your answer is going to be a positive. We have minus 4, or negative 4 times 5. So the 4 times 5 gives you 20, and the negative times positive gives you a negative. Now to end this video, I do want to highlight a common mistake that I will see students make. So for example, they will confuse 9 times minus 3 with 9 minus 3, right? And so this is the question on the left hand side is a addition and subtraction question. So yes, you would imagine that the plus is in front, just as you would have on the right hand side. But this time, if you have positive 9 minus 3, you want to go ahead and subtract. And then remember, you look at the numbers, and it would take the sign of the bigger one. Now, this is very different because usually persons will give me 6, but then they will say, okay, miss, it was a positive and a negative, so shouldn't I have gotten a negative? And that is incorrect. That rule about positive and negative giving you a negative only works when there is a multiplication sign in between. So it is this positive times the negative that gives you the negative. Okay, awesome. Similarly, persons will look at minus 5, minus 6, and then they'll say, miss, but a negative and a negative was supposed to give me a positive. Again, that is only if you have the multiplication sign. For minus 5, minus 6, and you can look back at those prerequisite videos, what you want to do is you want to say that if somebody takes away 5 apples from you, and then they take away 6 more, in total, they have taken away 11. Okay, and then if we have 3 plus 2, that one is straightforward. So clearly somebody gives you 3 apples and then they give you 2 more. In total, they have given you 5. And if you have minus 4 plus 5, again, you do not say negative and positive gives you negative. you go ahead and you subtract. So 5 minus 4 is 1. And then you look at the numbers to see which one has the bigger sign. The 5 has the bigger sign, and so the overall answer is going to be positive. So if you are not comfortable with the adding and subtracting, which are those things which I did on the left, you can go ahead and rewatch those videos. But I do want you to compare the left-hand side with the right-hand side just to ensure that you're seeing the difference between when we are adding and subtracting versus when we are multiplying our positive and negative numbers. If you did find this video useful, be sure to comment below. Be sure to share with your friends. As usual, here at Maths Academy, I am rooting for you, and I will see you in the next video.